How to greatly increase your odds of landing a job or getting a promotion at the job you're currently at. This involves kind of changing your mindset, and this is going to be the next Monday motivation video. I've been getting a lot of requests to do this again. I did one of them, and I wanted to do this series of every Monday, doing a little bit of motivation. So I don't want to come across as some guru or some know-it-all. I'm really not. This is something that actually kind of helps me in a way by doing these Monday motivations. I think I said that in the last one. Is it's kind of we all need a little bit of motivation on a Monday to kind of get our thoughts right, to get our mind right. And so by speaking it, it actually helps me as well as hopefully it helps you. We live in this society today where it's like a prerequisite society, if that makes sense. I've noticed this like common trend with the college situation where it's like, okay, well, you need to do this prerequisite to do that prerequisite to get to here, and then that gets your foot in the door to there. Now, if you're trying to be a lawyer, you got to pass the bar. If you're trying to be a doctor, you have to go through the schooling. All of that stuff to get your doctorate or to pass the bar, that's a different story. But this actually will help once you've acquired that prerequisite. But for the business majors, that the prerequisite is like a trigonometry class that you really don't need to do. Or, I just remember the prerequisites thing. It's like, you ever like buy a CD and there's all this filler music in the CD, but you only really wanted to listen to 3 songs on the track. It's like the prerequisites are like the filler stuff. And society seems to put a lot of the filler stuff in there to try to get your next step to the promotion or to the job you're looking to get. So the thing I want to talk about in this video is more of a mentality shift of, I have the golden ticket because I have this degree here. I did this, and that. So now you need to hire me. I'm entitled to this. That's what society seems to be drifting towards, at least from what I can see. And I think to impress a business owner or to get that job or increase your promotion likelihood, it's so much more simple than paying for a 4-year and then coming into a job interview like, hey, well, I've got this degree and I got a 4.0. I hate to break it to you. I really hate to break it to you, but it isn't the golden ticket. It's not like a lot of college students are finding that out. They go to a job and they say, hey, it's not like that. It's not like that. If you do have that, it might help you, it might make you look a little bit better. But honestly, even being humble about it and not even saying, oh, I got this 4.0 here, and letting them see that maybe on your resume. But the resume really doesn't get seen as much as people would like to think. But this involves how to get this job. So I'm going to go through a situation when I was looking to get a really prestigious, it's going to sound funny, but a prestigious waiter job. Now, it sounds odd to be like a prestigious waiter. What does that mean, a prestigious waiter? This place, the waiters were making $80,000, $90,000 a year. They were making pretty good money, and a lot of it was tips. And so you would be, if you were a waiter there were people that were in this job that I was at. There were waiters there that were like older, 50, 60 years old, and they were a waiter there because they were making bank. They were making really good money as a waiter. And I started as a food runner there, and I'll never forget it. And then I went from food runner to expo, which means basically like putting together the food in the back and putting it on the trays and then telling the food runner to take it to this table. And you're kind of like the task manager the funnel mechanism of the food to the table and then pass it to the food runners. Then I went from there to kind of helping out a little bit more with the busing and all of that. And from there, I kind of saw myself plateauing and I wasn't speaking up. And I'd been there for, 3 months, 4 months, something like that. And I remember overhearing a waiter going, dude, I made $500 tonight. Can you believe that? They just tipped me $200. And I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to get that job. And so when the opportunity presented itself, the owner of the restaurant was sitting down one day, and I saw him sitting down, and I went, you know what? This could get me fired by doing this, but I'm going to take this risk here because I can be a food runner. I can be a busboy at any restaurant, but I'm going to take this risk. And I walked up to the owner and I said, hey, I've been working here for a little bit. My name's Rob. I really appreciate this job, and I wanted to run something by you if you don't mind. And he looked up at me he almost seemed a little annoyed. And I looked back at him and I said, I really want to be a waiter at your restaurant. I understand the menu inside and out. I've been the expo, I've been the busboy, I've been a food runner, I've been every position here. I really want to be a waiter in your restaurant. And I'm willing to make an offer to you. And he looks back and goes, get to it. And I said, I will work for free for an entire month as a waiter. I don't want any money. I don't even want to get the tip. I will give the tip to the other waiters. I will work a full free month. And after that month is up, you can either not give me the waiter job or fire me or whatever you need to do, but I will work a whole month for free. And I will prove to you that I will be the best waiter in this entire restaurant. He looked back at me and he's just kind of like, didn't really brush it off, but he went, let me think about that. I appreciate you coming up here. And I almost was embarrassed for doing that. And I just thought to myself, maybe it didn't work. I go back and start, expoing and all of that. And I think it was maybe a week later, the manager came up to me and was like, hey, I want you to train under this guy. And he's basically going to teach you the ropes of being a waiter. You're not a waiter yet, but you're just going to practice under him. And then I ended up becoming a waiter that way. And that waiter job happened to be the catalyst that got me into the collectibles industry, but that's a story for another time. Just the serendipities of life, I guess. I ended up being the waiter for the right table. Kind of ended up, long story short, got me into collectibles. So that all is the catalyst to where I am now, ironically enough. But it's that mindset shift of, I don't want anything for free. I'm going to prove to you that when you give me this opportunity, I'll do it for free. But when you give me this opportunity, I'm not only going to take the opportunity, but I'm going to over-deliver. And that's the key point. Right when you get that opportunity after making your presentation that, hey, I will work for you for free for an entire month. Now, it might be a very technical job, so maybe it's 3 months you work for free. But what's so ironic is people will put themselves through all this debt through 4 years of college just so that they get this, pedigree or something, this college degree. And they say, hey, well, I deserve this job. And it's like, well, why don't you just try to work for free for them instead of getting yourself in debt and then acting like you got the golden ticket to get this job. And a lot of the employers, they see it that way, where it's like, okay, well, what real value do you provide to me? Can you prove to me that you have real value? And so resumes just don't really give that oomph of real value, I've noticed in the world. And again, this is just my personal take on this. I don't want to come across as some guru, but I wish I told myself this information back when I was 18, because it would have made me so much more confident in just letting the serendipities of life play out based on hard work ethic. And I hope that if you're watching this, and you're trying to find a job or trying to find out what the next thing is, I ended up being a waiter at that restaurant. I got the waiter job, I think, within 3 or 4 months of working there. And I understand it's a fast way. That was everybody didn't like it because I was only 21 and I was already a waiter there. And all the other waiters were 30, 40, 50, mid 50s, all the way up there. I think there was even a 60-year-old waiter. But it was a fancy restaurant and a really fancy place, so it was kind of a prestigious thing to be a waiter there. I ended up becoming the shift leader at one point, which they didn't really like that because nobody likes a 22-year-old, 21-year-old kid bossing you around and telling you to. But anyway, I ended up being at that job for 3 years until I met my friend, and then things happened the way they happened. But yeah, it's a long story. We'll get into that another time. But it's really the mentality of going, hey, there's zero risk for you. I will work for free. I will learn whatever I need to learn. And when you give me that opportunity, I'm going to over-deliver. That's the part you keep to yourself. You say, hey, I will work for free, and that gets your foot in the door. That passion, that willingness to give up your time for that individual. Then when you get that job, you keep this to yourself, you over deliver dramatically. You work hard. Even when you're not there, you do things to put yourself in a better position at that job. And then before you know it, you got what you were looking for. It's mainly a mentality shift from going, I deserve this, I'm entitled to this, and changing that entitlement factor to, I'm going to work for this and I'm going to prove that I deserve this. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. And then the other thing on top of that, maybe even prior to making that jump, or wherever, maybe after you make the jump of saying I'll work for free, or before you do that jump, it kind of works hand in hand to basically figure out how to be valuable. Like, are you really valuable? Like right now, if I want to hire somebody for Mineral Exchange, which I've been looking at resumes, and eventually I'll maybe find some other employees, but how are you actually valuable? How are you actually valuable? What do you do that makes you stand out from somebody else? Not that you got a 4.0 at this place, but what if you came up to somebody and you said, hey, I've spent the last year and a half studying how to code, and I've built this, and that website. They're e-commerce sites, and it's not in operation yet, but I have them up. I developed them all by myself. Could you take a look at those? And I think I could do it for your company. And actually, by the way, I actually made a little mock-up for your company, and I wanted to show you what that mock-up site looks like. Things like that go so much further than showing a resume. If you're looking to, whatever the job is, study whatever it is and prove that you're valuable for that job. And then when you've proven that you could provide value there, offer that value for free and say, hey, I will prove to you how valuable I am. And then when you get that opportunity, over deliver. That was something that really, it changed the whole course of my life. That strategy was something that it was just a serendipitous type thing where I saw the owner of the restaurant there and I thought to myself, I really do know this inside and out. And I really want to be more social. I want to make, the thing about it being a waiter, which probably helps me with these YouTube videos, is that you are making like 100 first impressions every day. And a first impression is everything. So when you're a waiter and you go, hey, thank you so much for being here. This is the special of the day, this and that. As you can tell, I'm a little bit rusty on it, but you're making a first impression. And so for me, that was, I'm maybe people don't know this about me, but I'm just super introverted. And the waiter job is what got me out of my shell a little bit. But to get that opportunity is when I went up to the owner and I said, hey, I know the whole place inside and out. I've been in the expo for months now. I've studied every single item on the menu. I know exactly how it comes out because I've been plating these dishes for a long time. And, I really think I could be a great waiter here, and I'm willing to work for free for a month. The ironic part is he didn't let me work for free, probably because it wasn't legal to work for free. I think you have to pay the employee some hourly wage, but I didn't make any tips for like a month and a half. And then I became the waiter. So that was the part that I worked for free, I guess. But really, when you were a waiter, it was only the tips that mattered. And the tips, you made so much that you actually didn't even get a paycheck. That got taken away for taxes in the W-2, which is another thing I talk about on this channel. If we were able to keep the entire W-2, the money from getting deducted out of the check, that was how I came up with that idea, because I remember looking at my checks and seeing a void check, being like, where did all that money go? Oh, well, you have to pay the taxes on that, and you already made this much from tips, so it automatically gets taken out. I'm like, why does it automatically get taken out? I never understood that. But it automatically gets taken out when you get a W-2 check. But anyway, that's the video. That's what I wanted to talk about on this Monday motivation, is just changing that entitlement factor. Don't feel entitled to any job that you're trying to get. Go into that going, I need to prove that I'm valuable. And I'm willing to do the extra stuff behind the scenes to prove that I'm valuable. For me, it was being the expo and the food runner, and that got my foot in the door. And then I actually studied the plates, and I studied what was coming out. I knew exactly what was on the menu and all of that. Kind of a odd take on the situation of being able to get a job or a promotion, but it applies there. And I hope that it helps you in some way, because I wish that I knew that back when I was a little bit younger. And hopefully it helps you whatever part of life you're at. Maybe it's you're before college, maybe you're in college right now, maybe you're way after college and trying to get a promotion, wherever you're at. I hope this information helps you. If it does, throw a comment down below, or if it doesn't, throw a comment down below. I really like getting a discussion going down there. If you like this video, please do smash that like button. It really does help when you change that gray like button to blue. It helps this video get out there in the algorithm. But this was Monday motivation number 2. It might actually be Tuesday motivation. We're going to keep this going as the Monday motivation thing, but I got to upload it and put it on there. So you might see it on Tuesday. But if you like me doing these, let me know in a comment down below, and I'll continue to do these Monday motivation series. This is the second one. I've done one. Now this is the second one, and I will continue doing these if you want me to do these. We'd love to have you as a subscriber on the channel as well. So please do click that red subscribe somewhere in the corner here. And if you click the bell and all notifications, you'll be notified whenever we go live or any other videos on this channel. Thanks again for being here. See you at the next video. Signing out.